our 2021 Secretcon to you. Hope you guys enjoy. So, hey, everyone. So, I'm a director of communications. I am Garrison Best. Like I said, I'm the director of communications for Black in Cybersecurity. I am looking forward to presenting a little bit about us and about who we are and some of the things we have going on in the community, and jump right into our Secretcon. So, who are we? Blacks in Cybersecurity began as a meetup group at common cybersecurity conferences such as B-Sides, DEF CONs, SmoothCon. We meet up in libraries, different hacker and maker spaces, and even restaurants. So we are deeply rooted in the greater hacker community and maker space. We have a ton of members, and we call them family members in our community all around the world that are in every part of the security world and all levels and ages, beginners to super experienced. So with this great community, we are always growing and we always want to help each other. And so if you are new to the big family, we welcome you. If you're not in our online community, please go to bicconf.comm /online community to fill out our online community form. We will be reopening that November 1st to allow people to get involved in our online community. So if you're not a part of our online community, please join a great opportunity for networking opportunities. So can't talk too much about it, but I definitely think if you're not there, you should be there. So some other things that we do outside of meetups, those conferences. So you're currently at Big Secretcon. This was our theme last year. That was our first annual one. This is our second annual Secretcon. These are some of our conferences that we host throughout the year. We have a winter conference, our virtual conference, and we had our first village at DEF CON this year. So that was great. Another thing that we do outside of doing meetups and hosting conferences is we provide training and program. So we have our CLADP program, Cybersecurity and Literacy and Development Program. So what is that? We made this program to make it affordable and accessible to train our community. We're focusing on a few different groups. You have our youth, which also ties in with our K through 12. And then we have all the way from college all the way up to our senior citizens. And we're working on different trainings and programs to anywhere from basic skills all the way up to some more advanced skills. So these are some of the things that we're currently doing. Some of our current programs, we have our speaker development program, our mentorship program, our blue team development, and our red team development. Some of our upcoming programs, we have our Splunk development program, cloud security program, and government and compliance. Great topics. Then we have our CTF. This is a great section, and so let's jump right into it. So what are CTFs? Capture the flags, or CTFs, are computer competitions where individuals test their skills, their computer. Our big CTFs are the beginning of exploration of people who come to learn, to the competitive and gamified aspect that attracts students and beginners. This is our CTF team. We have Nico, JR, Leo. They do great work. Definitely, I'm a fan. I've learned a lot. I've probably talked to every one of them and learned something. So definitely great staff, great team for this. So since we're talking about them, let's talk about something that you might not know. So the first owned and Black operated CTF was at our winter conference in 2020, SOC CTF. You can go to the website here, Soldiers and Saints. And Socks also goes by Nico, but great CTF. Check it out. If you haven't boxed CTF, you should look out for the next one. So you should definitely participate. Out of our just overall CTF information, we also have some different outlets that we participate in for CTF. So we have our pickup CTF, which main community CTFs as a team. We have our challenge of the month. We utilize Try Hack Me and Hack the Box for that. Then we have our competition team. So capture flag, our pickup team. My pickup team goes by Chocolate City. And our competition team goes by APT Black. So I'm going to go over a little bit of information about both of those later in the slides. So Chocolate City pickup team. It's named after the rich legacy of the Black community in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. We are honoring those of the great community in Washington, D.C. I'm a product of the D.C. area, so I definitely go in the Chocolate City name. And our pickup CTFs are just for fun, all skill levels. There's a no pressure environment. You can go in there and participate if you know absolutely nothing about CTFs. And if you're really good at CTFs, you can go in there just to kind of get some more practice in. Challenge of the month. So our challenge of the month is pretty simple. So every month we pick a challenge either off of Try Hack Me or Hack the Box. We alternate every month. The challenge begins this month, and the write-ups or solved challenges are due the 5th day of the next month. For instance, this month is October, and we started on the 1st, and the write-ups will be due November 5th. This is the current challenge that the community is working on for our challenge of the month. You do still have time. If you want to participate, please check it out. Then our competition team. So our competition team has tryouts November 1st through the 5th. If you have been doing CTFs for a while, or you think you have the skills to be on our competition team, I would hope that you are trying out for our competition team. It's a great experience to grow your skills and to be a part of a community that is wanting to help and grow CTFs and grow the big community. So this is something great on all fronts. So, well, what everyone's been waiting for, Secretcon.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm James Womack. Again, welcome to Secretcon 2021. Again, I'm James. I'm one of the moderators, and I'm just going to quickly take you through, what we have going on this year and how you can get involved. So first, just a overview of this event. So The big Secretcon theme for 2021 is Profilize. This event seeks to highlight the origin story of the individual speakers and how they got to where they are. Big headquarters has a vault in the basement. It looks like someone left it open. You might see it open during Secretcon. In addition to our speakers today, we have a CTF going on via Tribe Ctf. Again, it's a really fun capture the flag, really good for all skill levels, and I think everyone will enjoy it. We'll also post the link to register if you haven't registered already in the chat shortly. Oh, but actually, there it is right there, the link. So the link to register for the CTF is thetribectf.online. Registration's open today, and the CTF itself will be open until the 25th. Also, if you enjoy this event so far, we'd really appreciate it if you guys connected with us on social media. We have an Instagram, Black and Cyber Conf, Twitter, Black and Cyber Co1. Look up our LinkedIn page, and also we're on Facebook. And again, if you want to spread the word about us or this event, you can use hashtags like LitLightBic and Blacks in Cyber. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. And now we'll have our next speaker, Boyd Lewis.
Good morning, everybody. I hope that everybody is having a wonderful Saturday. I am honored to be here to speak with you guys today about something that's near and dear to my heart. So what I want you guys to do before we jump in is get a pen, get a notepad. I have this habit of saying things that are profound and I don't remember them. You'd have to go back and watch the tape. So let's jump right in. Let me get my screen going. I put together a little slide deck to give you guys some insight on what we're going to talk about today. All right. There we go. So today what I'm going to talk about is how to take your IT career to the next level. And you do this by not being an IT guy. Don't be an IT guy, guys. Now, everything, I'm going to preface by saying this, everything that I'm giving you is based on my experience and the results that it has gotten me. All right. So before I get into don't be an IT guy, let me give you some background on who I am. My name is Boyd Lewis, and I am an international cybersecurity expert, industry leader in the PCI DSS standard. I've been featured in Forbes, CBS, NBC News for work that I've done with speaking and training other IT professionals. Before I started my consulting firm, I was the senior security architect for American Airlines, which happens to be the largest airline in the world. So the question that I get asked all the time is, Boyd, how can I take my career to the next level? How can I take my career to the next level? I'm pretty sure some of you that are here right now and you're watching this presentation, you may even have that same question. And if you go ask 10 IT professionals, you probably get 10 opinions on how to address this. And I can almost guarantee you that whatever game plan that you get from those IT professionals telling you how to level up probably includes some certifications. I wish I could see the chat right now, but if it does, y'all just comment what certifications people are telling you to take your career to the next level. And then in about 2 seconds, I'm going to tell you exactly what I want you to do. So, you poll IT professionals and you say, hey, man, how do I either take my career to the next level or how do I start my IT career? And if you're going to start, they'll tell you, hey, go get the A plus, then go get your network plus, then get your security plus. And if you already are in the space of working in IT, maybe they tell you to go get like a CISSP or something like that. But this is what I want you guys to write down. I want you to stop chasing IT certifications. Stop chasing IT certs. And here's why. So first of all, if we take a step back, you look at my name, you see all these acronyms and certifications behind my name, and then you're like, dude, why are you telling me to stop chasing IT certifications? And I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. I promise it's going to make sense. So when I started my IT career, I was given that advice of get your A plus, get your network plus, get your security plus, spend some years working your way up, and then continue to get certs and develop. And I did that, and my reality and my expectations were upset because I was certified, but I wasn't skilled. There is a difference between being a certified IT professional and a skilled IT professional. As an IT executive, I will hire a person with 0 certifications that is skilled versus the guy that passed the test and can't do anything. So it's important that you stop chasing IT certifications and you focus on building skills, because skills is going to be the thing that's going to allow you to take your career to the next level, because you'll be in the position to add value in companies. Now, some of you might find this hard to believe because it's like, nah, man, I passed the certification exam, so I got the skills. No, 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 no. Let me give you an example. I can imagine some of you guys have been on the highway before, just minding your own self business, driving down the highway, and maybe somebody almost sideswipes you, or you see somebody swerving from lane to lane, and you ask yourself, how in the heck did this person get their driver's license? And this is the same question that companies are asking about some of these IT professionals that show up to work to do jobs that are unskilled and they don't perform well. So the person that's driving the car has a license, but yet they don't drive well. The person has the IT certification, but yet they don't perform well. Now, I was one of those guys until I figured out something that I needed to do that set me apart. So what you have to realize is when you chase the same certifications as everybody else, there's nothing that makes you stand out. So some of you right now are having challenges finding jobs, and you're looking at yourself on paper and you say, hey, man, I got the certifications. Why can't I get the job? Well, a million other people have been given the same exact advice. So recruiters and hiring managers and companies, they're in the driver's seat because they're choosing. And generally, they're going to choose the person that they can get for the cheapest, because there's nothing to set you apart when you're going after the same certifications. So the remedy for that, and what I did, is you need to specialize. Now, it's one thing to be a specialist in something like Microsoft Excel or something, but you got to ask yourself, what value does that bring to the business? Businesses exist for one or two reasons: to make profit and to increase your shareholders' wealth if they are a publicly traded company. So the thing that you specialize in needs to either help the company make money or offset the risk of that company losing money. Now you're adding value because you're helping the bottom line, right? So what I did is I figured out that if I specialized, it helped me jump over those hurdles of not having a college degree. It helped me jump over the hurdles of not having 10, 15 years of experience to get to the point of my career where I could get the income that I desired and the positions that I wanted. And the specific thing that I specialized in was the PCI DSS, which is the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. This is the standard that applies to any company that stores, processes, or transmits credit card data. Companies need to comply with this standard every day and validate compliance every year. And if they're found to be non-compliant, they could be fined millions of dollars. Target, Home Depot, Neiman Marcus, British Airways. I could give you a laundry list of companies that were breached. Target was fined so many millions of dollars, it would have bankrupted the average company for the breach that they had in 2014. They were deemed non-compliant, and therefore they were fined by the banks, right? So this is like, it was a hidden industry that was inside of cybersecurity. Wasn't very sexy, but the impact was there. If companies weren't compliant, they're losing money. So here I come in, learning and understanding this cybersecurity framework to help companies offset the risk of losing millions of dollars. Now, when you're bringing that type of value to a company, what do you think that they're going to pay you? You can guarantee you're going to have a six-figure job. Now, this thing is so specialized, it doesn't require IT certification to get it, to understand it. You just need to be knowledgeable in the framework and be able to speak to the level to help companies, business units make the right decision as to what controls to implement so that they can maintain compliance. I built my entire career on this foundation. And if I'm just going to make it simple to understand what this is, it is cybersecurity auditing. Most people think in order to get into cybersecurity, I got to be this technical guy. I need to know how to hack. I need to know how to code. No, you don't. If you can use a grocery list, you could be a cybersecurity auditor because you have a structured framework to follow, and all you're doing is just validating if the controls are in there. And if I'll be honest, I became a cybersecurity expert by first learning the PCI DSS because I was put into the position of authority. I would walk over to network administrators and make them give me their running configurations so I could validate their configurations were in compliance with the PCI DSS. When I was a junior administrator, they wouldn't let me touch a router or a firewall. But the tables turned. They had no choice. Nobody wants to be the reason why their company is getting fined millions of dollars. So they give it to you so you can help them. The next thing that's important is you need to understand, learn how to talk business. Business. Ask yourself this. To my sysadmin people, have you ever been a part of one of those 2 a.m. patch windows where your manager said, hey man, I need y'all to patch these systems tonight, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And you're wondering, I got more technical skills than this guy that's managing me. He's telling me to implement these patches. He couldn't do it himself, but why is he making 2 times as much money as I am? You ever wonder that? Like, what is that? So clearly it's not the certifications, right? Because if you go and look at most executive leadership in cybersecurity, you look at CTOs, CIOs, CISOs, they're not certified. So what is it? It's business. And what I mean by this is when you are thinking like an IT guy, you go install those patches and you ask an IT guy, why did you install those patches? You get 1 or 2 answers. And that answer is going to be because it's Patch Tuesday, so this is what we're supposed to do. Or my manager told me to install the patches. That is IT guy language, and you will not be compensated for that. I'm sorry, you won't. When you become a business technology professional, you answer that question differently. You tell someone when they ask, hey man, why are you installing those patches? I'm removing vulnerabilities from critical corporate assets so that we can reduce the risk, the likelihood of a breach occurring on these systems because of open vulnerabilities. The IT guy and the business technology person are doing this same exact thing, but one person knows the why behind what they're doing. And when you understand the big picture, the why you're installing the patches, the why you're creating the folder permissions, the why you're creating user accounts and specific OUs, you can have conversations at a higher level. Because when you want to grow your career, it's not the technical stuff that makes it happen. It's understanding the business. And people that talk business are directors, VPs, those type of people. You're not going to walk into a boardroom and talk to leadership about services and technology. They don't care. They do not care. But when you can present facts about how the technology we're using is actually helping us either make money or, again, reducing the likelihood of us losing money due to a breach, fines, or penalties, you can sit at the table with the big boys. That is the key. That is the key. I've been able to consult with Fortune 500 companies and advise them on what to do with their cybersecurity strategy with just a high school diploma because I understand business. Now, I'm not saying you need to go out and get a business degree, but what I'm saying is you need to understand the deeper meaning behind the daily activities you do. You need to ask yourself why. Why am I installing these patches? What happens if I didn't install the patches? What does this really mean? Once you get to that deeper meaning, you'll see what that impact is to the business so that ultimately you can solve big problems. The correlation is very simple. Solve big problems, get a big paycheck, grow your career. If you solve small problems, you'll get a small paycheck and you'll be wondering what you're doing wrong. Doesn't matter how good you are. So think about this. These days, if a server were to go down, right? Let's say that a server crashes. What's the impact of that to the business? These days, probably not much. We have redundancy, we have cloud, we have failovers, just about everything imaginable for a company to continue with that server being down. So as a sysadmin, maybe I'm not making, 150K to manage these servers because the impact to the business just isn't there, right? And another thing to think about, nobody's going to fly you around the world to fix a server. They'll just find somebody locally because it's really not a big problem to solve. And I'm not after anybody. I'm just being honest. We're talking business here. But when you specialize in a cybersecurity framework that has major impact, major implications to the company, and something of that magnitude is failing or going to fail, I can guarantee you people will fly you anywhere in the world to solve that problem. And they'll pay you whatever they need to pay you in order to avoid the consequences of that particular requirement or control failing because it impacts the business. So if I'm going to recap, you need to stop chasing IT certifications. You need to specialize, learn how to talk business, and solve big problems. Because when you solve big problems, you add value, you get a seat at the big boys' table. And that's where the income, the impact, the credibility comes from because you're not an IT guy. So that's how my journey happened. That took me from help desk to architect to security consultant. And if you have any questions you want to get in contact with me, there's my information right there. Yeah, that's it. Hope you guys learned a little something. And I didn't step on any toes with the whole certification thing. But look, man, I got like 25 certifications. I was on it because I thought that was the way to go. I was on it. But I realized, nah. Understanding the business is a major key. So thank you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to welcome you to this topic of switch career fields and the fact that there's hope for you. My name is Lewis, and welcome to the first meeting of Blacks in Cybersecurity. Today is October 23rd, and I hope you enjoy this discussion very much. All right, to start you off, I want to bring you to my background and my childhood upbringing. So I am formerly a military kid, born and raised in Augusta, Georgia. Transitioning to South Korea, moving to Germany, England, Spain, Northern Africa, and many, many states. Just to name a couple: Georgia, California, Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Delaware, and New York. So growing up as a kid, I got to see the whole world and what it had to offer. Now, my life, I love basketball. And so I played basketball in elementary school, middle school, and high school. Throughout every form of school, I always started or played. When I got to D1 college basketball, I actually walked onto the team and played basketball there. And so that was very fun and exciting. Just want to show you a quick video of me and my friends. All right, so we had tons of fun there in Delaware State University. Go Hornets. Yeah, I was a Hornet. Transitioning, I had many research activities and opportunities as well. I did research at North Carolina State University and UNC, Cornell University, Drexel University, and Penn State University for my master's degree and PhD. And there were many, many organizations that I joined. Now, who am I? I am a husband. I'm a father. In 2017 of June, I was married to my beloved wife, and thank God that I was married to her, because I don't think I could be where I am today without her. She has helped me to make the decision to maneuver into the cybersecurity industry, letting it be known that the information security is widely available. Now, we had our first child just recently in March of 2021, this year. So that was also a blessing. Now, I've made many accomplishments, but none more important than graduation. I've started the National Organization for the Advancement of Black Chemists and Chemical Engineers, as I feel is more important to let our people know about the opportunities and diverse opportunities available. I did have the ability, and I was reluctant to have many scholarships, such as the HPGI scholarship, the BTD scholarship. I was in the Gamma Sigma Epsilon organization and American Chemical Society organization. My first presentation was at the Abracams conference, which is a very large conference of biomedical research and engineers. So this isn't my first rodeo, and there have been many accomplishments through my life, and I thank God. Many degree-related publications have been prepared throughout my life. So in 2011, I published my poster with Dr. Wakefield. I worked with Dr. Winstead and my lab partners, Lindsay and Joshua, to collaborate to complete 2 papers that are pending down at the bottom. And also, she has been reluctant to allow me to be a contributor to her publication, Biomimetic Nanofibers in the ex vivo expansion of cord blood-derived hematopoietic stem cells. And this is Medical Research Archives. So I completed my dissertation this year, February 18th. And it's ironic because the research was in breast cancer. I lost my grandmother in breast cancer in 2013. This research was done to her in that contribution as I formed nanodiamonds to target breast cancer cells. And so it meant something to me. 2 days later, after I completed the research, my last grandmother just passed. And so it's different. 6 days later, we drove down to go to the funeral, and we were hit in a car accident. And it really, really startled some things in my life. But thank God and thank goodness that we're here today. I graduated. I was fortunate enough to make it and graduated summa cum laude with a 4.0 out of 4.0 in chemistry. And this was such a hard achievement. I'm very thankful that I was able to do so. But now we're transitioning on. So why did I switch career paths? Well, I was frustrated. Things had gotten difficult when I was applying for jobs last year. I wasn't able to find jobs. And when I did work in labs, I didn't have enough time to spend time with my family. And so the way of life was very difficult for me. So I decided to do some research, and I found passion in cybersecurity, in particular the information security sector of cybersecurity. And here's what I noticed. Last year alone, there was a huge demand for security analysts. The number totaled to amount of 1,001 million cases. This was a lot. So this drew my attention to the challenges others face and me myself face to learn more about cybersecurity. Platforms that have been compromised, simply everyday platforms that we use, right? Your cell phone. And so that involves Facebook and Instagram. You having access to that and leaving that information open. Emails, WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp and Facebook did an issue with Mark Zuckerberg not too long ago. So they did some investigations on him. Health data privacy has been, many people's health data has been compromised due to lack of security. So simple web server. So basics that I learned about security or RMF and FedRAMP. Tons of research has been spent on these two ideas alone using the NIST documents. Now, I also learned about agencies and organizations or the acronyms, systems and systems acronyms, and impact levels of systems and systems information. Okay, I learned how to implement the family controls into the FIPS 199 document and systems handbook. And so I've developed these artifacts for systems this year, internship. My work experience at Landmark Cybertech landed me the opportunity to apply the RMF framework, where I prepared, categorized the systems, selected controls, implemented, assessed the controls, authorized the system, and monitored those controls continuously. Because of course, we need to be able to know what's wrong so that we can import it into plan of action and milestone to detect any of the weak associated with that system and solve them. Okay, so I use this framework to the right to get that done. I had the opportunity to do an ATO package in which there's an SSP, an SAR, and also a POM collectively involved in this process, in which we demonstrate why they should trust their system and all their risks are at residual risk, or at least at the lowest possible, right? So mitigating all those risks and the impact levels to the residual risk. Lastly, I've done several work with supporting security artifacts, such as e-authentication, determining whether information provided is personal, identified information. If so, doing a PIA from the PTA. I've also done work with the security control assessment, rules of behavior, configuration management plan, should anything need configuration, and also system contingency plan, depending on what to do next should something happen in incident response plan. I just want to start off saying, in conclusion, I have been frustrated and I've hit the wall, and I felt at times that there was no hope last year, right? Searching for jobs. I realized chemistry was my first passion. Ultimately, it was not where I wanted to be. I didn't want to be in the lab, away from the family the whole time. And so my found passion in cybersecurity landed me the ability to gain work experience and ability to work more and gain competency in the InfoSec realm. This, and along with the fact that there are more jobs and opportunities available, is why I chose to join this field. Okay. Below you can see certain factors as to why cybersecurity is a wonderful industry. Again, there are many jobs available, and this is according to the NICE workforce categorized diagram to the left. And we show to the right that there are not even enough placeholders to hold these jobs. And so there are many, many opportunities for those of you who want hope and who are seeking for opportunities. Some of the resources that I lastly want to show you are CyberSeek. Again, LinkedIn, got to reach out to people. Some of the books and resources that you can use very simply are the S Plus Study Guide, the Security Plus Study Guide, Dion Training, RMF Framework, FedRAMP, and also the NIST 800 series, which you can find at the website to the right. I want to thank you all for coming to this presentation. It means a lot to you that you chose me to do this presentation. If you have any questions or you would like me to respond and give you an answer, you can feel free to send an email to me. Again, my email address is simply my name, lewisqlott@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to send you a response. Thank you so much for allowing me to have this presentation, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this meeting.
So I'm excited. So today we're going to Ctf. Who is Ctf? Well, I'm the founder of Ctf SciLife. I recently won the 2020 IC Square Global Rising Star Award for my business, Ctf SciLife. So I'm very happy about it. Also the program director services for Blacks in Cybersecurity, and I also authored my first ebook that's called The Struggle is Real, a blueprint to excelling into the cybersecurity discipline. So normally we talked a lot about cybersecurity today, but normally in the media, it's normally put that someone sitting behind a computer hacking into the system, but that's actually only one area of cybersecurity. We also have a non-technical side, which is, for example, project management. However, I like this definition from Dr. Mansour Haziq, which is cybersecurity is the mission focused and risk optimized governance of information, which maximizes confidentiality and availability using a balanced mix of people, policy, and technology while improving over time. So today I give you all my comic flow, give you all examples of how you could actually use your transferable skills, and then I'm also going to do a demo using the cybersecurity career tool. So today we have Kiko, and Kiko, she's a quality assurance analyst, and she wanted to know how she got to this industry. So here we go again, another person not actually realizing that they are in cybersecurity, but I'm going to make sure. Oh. Oh no. No one can hear me. Hold on, y'all. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? Oh, okay, hold on. Let me check my audio. Sorry, y'all. We good? Y'all can hear me loud and clear? Okay. Let me try to adjust the audio. Hello. Hello. Normally portrayed as being a hacker. Okay, y'all can't hear me again. I am having technical. Alice. So Kiko actually has the transferable skill. So she actually knows how to test. She probably understands SP 800-161, and she also know how to develop test plans. According to one of my resources that I like a lot is the NIST 800-181, which is the cybersecurity workforce publication. And Kiko actually is under the security provision category. So now I'm going to give you all a nice demonstration of the cyber career path tool, and I'm going to give you all examples on how to use this tool using transferable skills. So we had an example where we are going to see where Kiko aligns for her quality assurance analyst role. So you can use this tool in various ways. You can use the select a role option. And what I like about this is that it breaks it down into the different areas, which is IT, cybersecurity, cyber effects, intel, and intelligence. And since we actually have some intelligence people today, from their background, we're actually going to see where they fall into cybersecurity as well. So for Kiko, she actually would be in the IT side. An example of another job title for her, she falls under the systems testing and evaluation specialist. So due to her background, as I mentioned before, plan, prepares, and executes tests and systems. Once again, using this tool, Kiko will fall under the community of IT. The category, as I mentioned before, is security provision. Her specialty area is test and evaluation. And some roles for her to consider when she actually doing her job search are these 5 roles right here within this tool. Now, as I mentioned before, you also have the non-technical side, which is the side I'm on, and that is the oversee and governance side of cybersecurity. And I'm going to use myself as an example so you all can see where I fit in cybersecurity. So for me, I actually fit under this tool. I will fit under the cross-functional lifecycle management, and I have various roles. Some of my roles, I was a program analyst. Right now, I'm a systems engineer. Before, I was a senior technical manager, and then I was a cybersecurity. So all of my job titles, even though they were different, I basically did the same day-to-day tasks, but I just had different job titles. So for instance, I'm just going to say program manager because I have some experience dealing with various military programs and I understand the various life cycles. Actually, right now, my current job, I'm learning about the safe agile process. So I'm learning about that business process. But for example, a program manager is a non-technical role. You're really worried about leading, communicating with different people and business processes. So as you can see, using this tool, the main thing is a program manager. But if you could tell, you also have these 5 other roles that fit under program manager. And actually, this blue area, you could also go into another field, which if you know about requirements, then you could use some of those skills and actually go over to the security provision side of cybersecurity. So that's one example of the non-technical side, and I do see my chat is off the chain, and I will answer y'all questions in a few minutes. So for the Intel side, since we have some Intel people today, and a lot of people that I work with, helping with resumes, I don't fit in this area. So I'm actually excited I could cover this today. So for the Intel side, since I don't like the role part, I'm gonna clear the section and I'm actually gonna go to the main tool itself. And for the Intel people, depending on their day-to-day tasks, one area they focus on possibly is cyber intel. And as you can see, for cyber intel, the community is intel, the category is collect and operate. And then for this particular role, the specialty area is cyber operational planning. And as you all can see, once again, they highlight the 5 job roles within this area as well. And I'm going to pause and see if I can answer some of y'all questions in the chat as well. Hopefully I can, maybe. Okay. Let me give y'all another example. Oh, for instance, we had noted this earlier today. It was in the beginning. Someone had mentioned maybe you like to write, you're a blogger, maybe you come from an English background. You could also fit into cybersecurity as well, and that will go on the oversee and governance side in a role that you could actually consider, or maybe let's just say policy as well. Let's see, let me find it for y'all. Actually, there's a couple roles, so I'm gonna do a couple things. So for instance, let's say you come from a, there we go. All right, let's say you come from education background. So maybe you're a teacher, a professor, or people that actually develop courses. Now, you actually fit under the overseeing and governance side, and you are actually helping the workforce. So for instance, I do some courses. I have one course that's on my website. So I still fall under the overseeing and governance side. And a job title, for instance, if I wanted to add that on my resume, I could add cyber workforce developer. I could probably add manager too, or analyst, depending. But that is another way you could use your transferable skills from an educational background and get it to cybersecurity. Another thing, as I mentioned before, if you know how to develop courses, a teacher again, then you could look under the cyber instructor curriculum developer as a role as well. And that's how, once again, you use those transferable skills to get into cybersecurity as well. And because I help a lot of people in the IT support help desk area, for all those wonderful people, most of everyone will fit in the blue area, which is the operate maintain side of cybersecurity. So if you're doing IT help desk, another job title you could consider in your job search when you're searching for a job, you could see what pops up for a technical support specialist. That is another job title that you could consider in your job search. So when you're job searching, you don't have to just put IT help desk or help desk, because you will actually miss out on the job, because it could be a technical support specialist or maybe a support analyst. It really all depends. Job titles, I tell people when they are job searching, don't really focus on a job title so much, because a job title is basically a title. You really want to focus on the day-to-day tasks of what you're doing on that job. So as my example, right now I'm a systems engineer, but prior to that, I was a program analyst, and I did some of the same tasks as a program analyst, but also as a system engineer. So I was able to still use my transferable skills, even though I had a different job title. So during my job search, I was able to look up system engineer, business analyst, IT business analyst, sometimes program analyst, and I was still able to widen my job search. So anybody out there, try not to focus on the job title so much. And this is just a demo of the tool, but I also want to show y'all my other resource that I like live and breathe, which is the Cybersecurity Workforce Framework. And if anybody follow me on LinkedIn, everyone know how I am about this publication, which I actually did a course very high level that gives you all examples of how to use your transferable skills. So for instance, when I used the operate and maintain side, this is what I was mentioning. And once again, that is for my IT support people help desk. I also want to cover, since I have y'all here, the investigate side. So maybe you come from a law enforcement background, maybe you majored in criminal justice law. You can use those transferable skills that you already have and actually consider looking at the investigate side. You could possibly go into digital forensics or cyber investigation, because from that law background, you understand the laws, you know how to prepare a case, you know how to gather all that evidence. So those are the transferable skills you have to get into the investigate side. Now, I will note, depending on the job, for digital forensics, you will probably have to learn some coding, depending on whatever the programming language is. You will have to know a little bit of coding for the investigate side as well. Just so y'all know that. And I'm gonna go back to my presentation, because Lord behold, we was talking about certifications. And I also have a video on YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I will have at the end of this. But I wanted to show y'all this handy dandy graphic that I find that is so helpful. So once again, this is one of those things where you research. So CompTIA got together with NICE, which is basically the document I just showed you all, the NIST 800-181. And this graphic here actually breaks down the areas, the certifications, and I'm gonna zoom in for y'all in case y'all can't see. The certifications that aligns to the different roles. So when I work with someone with their resume, we go over their security path. So most of the time I work with people that have certifications, and I'm going to say this now because it happened. For certifications, they are good to have, they test your knowledge. A lot of people get cert happy and they don't know the role to get, they don't know the role after they get that certification. So now I see it all the time. Oh, I just earned a security plus, but I don't know what roles are out there. This graphic right here is just an example. This graphic is an example of, okay, let's just say, like I said, you earn a security plus. Well, you can see the security plus is scattered throughout some examples. So for instance, if you want to go on a protect and defense side for networks, the Security Plus is here. You actually see that the Security Plus is in 4 of these rows. So maybe you really is interested about incident response. So hey, you earned that Security Plus. So instead of automatically going over to the help desk side, because once again, a lot of people just think, oh, I got Security Plus, so all I could do is help desk. No, you actually limit yourself when you could look at different areas as well. As I tell people all the time, please don't get start happy. Know the role that, like, know your overall role that you want to accomplish at the end. And even if you don't know, maybe honestly just get 2 certs, think about it, because I see it all the time. I have sometimes 10 people that have I have some people that have 5 certifications, they still can't get a job. And when I actually sit down with them and analyze the certifications that they actually earned, they actually didn't realize that they technically went down 2 different paths, and you're a little confused on which way you went because you just probably, like I said before, you got cert happy and you just don't know where to go. So this is a great graphic to reference when you're getting your certs. This is just one. But if you earn any SANS certs, it's the same. Yes, if you earn any SANS certs, they also have SANS. You have to put in Google, which is SANS mapping, NICE, and it will give you that graphic as well. And because I talk fast, but I will answer questions at the end. For any cybersecurity career development, go to my website. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get my ebook. It will brighten up your day, and it will actually share my struggles. Because it would be me if I can leave y'all with 2 aspirations to leave with y'all today. So one is going to be a acronym from Dr. Chill, which is actually Aiko's dad, which is my favorite artist. But the acronym for y'all today is BLACK. And his acronym for BLACK is Blessed, Loving, Act, Creating Consciousness. And I'm also into positive affirmations and positive cards. So I actually have this card deck that's called The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. And the card I pulled for us today that I think speak to us is my energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest. So now I'm going to answer y'all questions because I see again that my chat is off the chain.
Loud and clear. Wow. Well, it's been a pleasure to be on this. I really enjoy Kashi. Technology management. I have a Master of Science in hacking. Prior to me obtaining my master's, I had an undergraduate in criminal justice. I minored in computer security and forensics. I was a prior adjunct for the University of Arizona. Prior to that, I built the red team for a very large milk and bites company. Prior to that, I was a hire out of the Hula Pack Enterprise Company out of North Carolina, where I was part of that particular group where I would mentor and train junior pen testers that would come up and actually pen test in the Northern Virginia, DC area. So just a little bit about me and the agenda for this particular talk. Is a couple of bullet points: AI in the recruitment process. How does AI play a role? How do you recognize the AI? How do you get past the AI? What are the pitfalls to avoid when you're trying to obtain your next particular role or position? Or even, as we've heard earlier, how do you transition into cybersecurity from a different space? I actually transitioned into cybersecurity. Prior to cybersecurity, I was in a field because my undergrad was in criminal justice. So my route was very non-traditional. There were a couple things that I had to do just to get into the field. A couple of things that I had to do. My initial challenge was, how do I show my experience? How am I able to case my knowledge? How am I able to reflect what I can write on a resume and get it in front of someone? So I did a number of things. I attended cybersecurity conferences in Maryland. I volunteered to be a mentor in the AFA Cybersecurity Patriot. I would find opportunities in different ways to showcase what I know, knowing that I was approaching a field that's very experience heavy, and I didn't have it. On a commercial standpoint, I knew that I had to find ways to show my abilities and my knowledge that I was gaining at the time. So with the AI that's in the recruitment process, here's a couple of bullet points. The first one is very alarming. Over half of the talent acquisition leaders say that the most difficult part of the recruiting process is pre-screening the candidates. There was one particular role I remember interviewing for years ago, and the recruiter actually divulged to me that she did not understand cybersecurity at all, that she was tasked with duty of recruiting roles that were cybersecurity based. So being said, they were using AI and software that could filter the applications out to help recruiters who did not understand cybersecurity. The next bullet point is something I learned with a combination of research, Googling, and just meeting and communicating with different recruiters who were willing enough to admit the things that you would not know up front. Candidates are automatically graded, and only grade will be passed on to the phone interview stage. So as the bullet point on it says, example, A to B receives a call back, seen below could receive a rejection with a generic email. And so what the AI would do, it would screen a resume, look for the frequency of keywords, look at the years of experience that's entered for every job title that you may have. It would take the data and then use it to make a decision. And based upon the decision, candidates are ranked. And based on ranking, it determines if that particular candidate receives a callback. The last bullet, AI is often used to parse data from the applicant pool and compile a list of the quote unquote best fits for a role or position. The best fit phrase, I am not a fan of it. I've heard everything in the world from best fit, cultural fit, teamwork fit, company fit. Every similarity or simile of fit was in the particular phrase. And the AI will use the data that comes from a resume or the applicant form that's entered, whether you're using Workday, I see in mass, so something along that line. It would get us entered and create this criteria to look. And sometimes the AI will make a decision that would say this person is less likely to stay with the company because of the gaps that are in the resume. AI and the recruitment process continues. So here are a couple more bullet points. 67% of hiring managers use AI to save time during the process. So you can only imagine where you have LinkedIn, Indeed, or some other platform where it can collect and pull resumes. And they will not spend hours upon hours to manually review a resume. So they would rely on certain software to cut down and reduce the time that's needed to fill a particular opening. Pre-selected questions are implemented during an AI-based video interview. There are some rules where someone can apply to, and the first step is meeting with a hiring manager. It's actually going through a video interview that has pre-selected questions. And so a candidate on the computer, webcam is running and it's on. And even though the questions are pre-selected, the camera is gauging how frequent the candidate moves during the video interview. I didn't know this until I found out the hard way. So if a candidate moves frequently video interview, if the head moves left or right frequently, the AI uses it to determine that the candidate is actually unsure and uncertain of their results. So even the confidence falls into the grading. The questions are pre-selected and the answers could be correct, but the movement during the video interview has, and it is one of the most ridiculous things that I have seen, but they call it as a factor. LinkedIn Recruiter is often used by talent acquisition to find and filter candidates. So the searches are based on a combination of filters and skills or experience at the baseline. So as an example, let's say you have someone who's trying to fill an opening of senior security engineer, digital forensics analysts, different types of those things. Those particular positions have a very specific set of skills. We all know about the ongoing debate that's in cybersecurity, where the entry level requisition has CISSP or some other certification that's predicated upon you must be in the field for a number of years, but somehow they manage to include that particular certification within an entry level description. So searches are configured to filter out the skills that are listed on your LinkedIn profile. And based upon what it can filter out, it falls into that particular search. There's a tool called Are. It's used to make decisions according to the collected data. Are actually analyzes the data? Yeah, it will likely stay with the company. So you have companies that will use software to determine if a candidate would stay within a company for a number of years. Now, because of COVID-19 and everything as a the pandemic, I do not feel that a company that will use this tool would be in a recommended or ethical manner, because there are millions of people right now who could possibly have a gap because of COVID-19. Will they make the changes on the filtering the software? It's completely up to them. But many companies do use software to make decisions before a phone interview is even granted. Ideal screens approximately 5 million candidates a month. across a wide range of industries. This was quoted by the CEO. 5 million candidates a month. That's an enormous amount of people that are screened. So how can someone get around this? What are some of the things that we can do to bypass the AI in this process? There are a couple of things, and it may sound like a bit repeat because we've heard this throughout the day, but it's still great things. Tailor the resume according to the job description. A generic resume is not recommended. It can hardly bypass the AI because the AI is configured to inspect it for very specific keywords. When I was part of a medical device company, I was the first intern to hire from a red team's perspective. So at the ground zero level, I and my teammates were responsible for building the team. As the company began to expand, we had to expand our team. When I was a senior red team member, I was pulled into vendor meetings. And by being pulled into vendor meetings, I was one of the ones that could influence the decision to acquire a product, solution, something on that line. As an example, there was a tool called AppSpider by Rapid7, which is made to test web applications. We consider AppSpider as one of our products that was in our environment. So when we expanded the team to add on a third person, guess what was in that particular job description? AppSpider. The company wanted someone who was familiar with AppSpider or at least had the ability to learn it quickly. So job descriptions sometimes have tools because if the company chose to use that tool over another tool that you may actually have more experience with. So how do you get around a job description that may favor one tool over another, both do the same thing? Elaborate on the experience you have with one tool and elaborate the functions of the tool that are highly identical to the functions of the tool that they actually want. So they can at least compare your experience to their requirements. Say, hey, well, this person knows how to conduct certain things with this tool, so they already understand what's happening underneath the application layer. Middle bullet point. Experience, regardless if it's volunteer or you were paid or compensated, it is experience because skills are gained and they're demonstrated. As mentioned earlier, when I was trying to get into the cybersecurity field, I looked for every opportunity to showcase myself and do things. And the labs that I had to complete when I was getting my master's, I didn't realize how valuable they were until I graduated, because I was able to elaborate on those labs. Labs where I had to actually craft malware. Labs where I made malware. I was able to do things that a black hat would do. And I elaborated on those particular labs as part of my resume, and actually played a big help or a big role in me getting to cybersecurity. List and provide the details of all your activities that were hands-on, no matter if it was a small project, medium project, even large project. If it was hands-on, it is still experience that you can use to speak about. Don't assume that neither an AI or recruiter can interpret cybersecurity skills. There are many who may admit to you that, hey, I'm recruiting for a role that honestly, I don't even know what it is. But there are some who will not admit it. I have some to read my resume, recruiting for a pen tester, and ask me if I had pen testing experience. And I had to laugh on the inside because I knew the recruiter did not read my resume because I've been pen testing for we're going on 7 years. Network. I can't elaborate enough on the network part. Uh, the conference that we are part of today is a great example of networking, meeting other cybersecurity professionals, picking their brains, learning from the mistakes they made, gaining knowledge, gaining something you can add to yourself. My first cybersecurity experience that I was intended, nothing more, was in Maryland, and I entered this drawing and I didn't think too much about it until I received the email and I actually won a course that was valued at $1,500. I didn't have to pay for it. I said, "Wow, I like this. I can go to a conference and learn things." And I did not expect to receive a voucher. And so those are some of the perks that you can obtain when you visit a conference. You just never know what of it. Network with the current employee of the company via the referral route. There are some companies where they will lean on the employees internally. Say, "Hey, do you know somebody that has a set of skills? Do you know anybody?" And the man go, "You know what? I know one guy. I met him at a conference the other day. Oh, I received a LinkedIn message, and I may want to go back and message to see if he's interested." Because roles open up at different times. So you can network with a person and it may not have a role for you right then, but then 2 or 3 weeks later, a role is open because it was approved by budget. Now you are a referral now. Bypassing AI still. Number one, connect with a cybersecurity staffing company that may have this role. There are some companies that when they're recruiting for roles, they have exclusive rights where no other company will recruit for that role. So the only competition from candidates who are applying directly to the company. But there could be a cybersecurity staffing company that has exclusive rights. And I actually went through this where there was a company that has exclusive rights to a role, and me working with that cybersecurity staffing company, I was hired. Able to bypass the AI. I didn't have to apply directly to the company. My resume was received from the recruiter. It was passed on to the hiring manager. I went to 2 interviews and I received an offer. So a lot of these things in this time point is really coming with experience. Number two, discuss cybersecurity subjects openly on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great platform for having open discussion about cybersecurity, and sometimes you never know who's watching. Your post can create a trail of activity that is often overviewed, is looked over by a hiring manager. So you never know who could potentially look at your activity and say, "Hey, I like how this person is inquisitive. They have a passion for this. I'll have to check them out." Number three, do not solely depend on the easy apply. Even though it's easy to apply on LinkedIn, you should not overly depend on it. Because one role can easily receive hundreds of applicants, and I can say that enough. So it may benefit you to take a few minutes to modify your resume to reflect the job role. And as mentioned earlier about contacting the recruiter, yes, they do not like to receive resumes up front. You express interest in the particular role that they are hunting for, then it can put you ahead of the line. And also research the company just a little bit. So when they ask you, "Have you ever heard of us?" you can say with confidence, "Yes, I researched, I visited the website, I read the recent news or the blog." When you're able to say yes, that push you further away ahead of the line. If you cannot say yes and say, "Well, I just saw the job role and I wanted to apply," the recruiter may not really feel that you want to be part of the company. So take a few minutes and look over the company. It really can put you ahead. Pitfalls to avoid. As a recap, do not assume your skills can be interpreted from your resume. One resume is not suitable for every job description. If you see a job description that has different tools, different technologies, but the procedure that you are definitely familiar with, then change a few things up to reflect the things you have done. I come from different parts of cybersecurity. I've been senior red team. I've been an incident response lead. I've been a prior adjunct. I've been a cybersecurity consultant. I have different areas of experience within cybersecurity. So my resume, if I was to shoot for something, it has to be tailored according to what I'm going for. The AI sends without human input. It's good to not take it inwardly. I know of a situation that literally occurred a couple of days ago where someone applied to a role and within 5 actual minutes, the person received a rejection. So imagine applying and you walk away from your computer and you come back and you have a rejection. And it happened because of the AI not really going through the resume and really the AI can't conclude that you really can do it. And this is my conclusion. Network with companies that specialize in cybersecurity staffing. If you are able, find out who the hiring manager is who's overseeing the role or position. Try out a generic resume. Do not disregard your lab or education-based experience. Attend cybersecurity conferences whenever you can. And as always, continue to network. Thank you for listening to this talk. It's a few things. I have a social media, I have LinkedIn. That's my Twitter handle. My YouTube channel is very young. I'm still putting more videos on it. And that's my direct contact.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of Black Girls Hack, I am Alshon Banks, and I'd like to thank you for having me. I'm just here to give my perspective on and experience on CTF challenge, which I presented one the CTF challenge that's going on today. So, given the fact that it's my first time in doing that, I think my experience was pretty awesome, actually. I remember going to different meetups and different conferences and stepping into the CTF challenge rooms and just being like a deer in headlights. To be honest with you, it was intimidating. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? I don't even know. Like, I see this big scoreboard going on. People just intense looks. I was just like, oh no, I think this is a little beyond me. But having done this Tribe Ctf and presenting my challenge, I have a new perspective now, and that is it's not as bad as it seems for those that are new to CTF. For me, it was pretty amazing to like, for instance, go behind the scenes and figure out like bring them along a journey of a challenge, and basically it was refreshing and reassuring and quite simply amazing actually to have done that. If I can leave you guys, the new people, 'cause that's what I am when it comes to the CTF space, don't be afraid, jump in. There are many CTFs for newcomers, and you'll have fun. You'll definitely have fun. I know I can speak on behalf of Black Girls Hat in saying that they were pretty awesome with what they submitted. So I don't know if anyone has any questions as me being a newcomer to the CTF space. I'm willing to answer anything. If not, then that's it. I'd like to thank you for having me.
Everyone, can you hear me? Thank you very much. My name is John Braza. I'm the founder of Swift Intellect Limited. First of all, greeting from Nairobi, Kenya. It's actually it's around 8:40 in the morning. I mean, sorry, 8 in the evening. Being just give me a moment. I sort out my audio issues. So, sorry, my name is Braza. I'm the founder of Swift Intellect Limited, based in Nairobi, Kenya. And Swift Intellect Limited is a software engineering firm based again in Nairobi, Kenya. And under one of our programs is Cyberspace Kenya, which largely deals with matters to do with CTFs and also user awareness and training to do with capacity building when it comes to matters of cybersecurity, basically in Nairobi, Kenya, and East Africa and Africa in general. So I was very privileged to be asked to be part of CTF's Tribe Ctf. Having been doing this for quite a while, I feel CTFs is actually a new frontier when it comes to training, especially new talent into cybersecurity, because through capture the flag competitions, we're able to gain hands-on skills. You're able to enhance your skill in a particular area, become a subject matter expert, and all that. And I feel it's important that we gave CTF a chance and gave it indeed did it as a frontier when it comes to cybersecurity. So for CTF, once again, I was Cyberspace Kenya to be part of this, and I hope some of you are going to come across some of the challenges developed by my team. And trust me, it's fun. CTFs are fun. That's the first rule of thumb. Going there to have fun is like a game, but at the end of it, it's an experience. So after the Tribe CTF, we hope that in as much as we should have taken so much time doing a lot of research and all that, the basic goal here is for you to learn and advance your skills. And this is not just to the people trying to break into cybersecurity, but this is also for professionals out there, because once in a while we need to refresh our skills, we need to unlearn and learn new skills. For instance, today I was very privileged to learn a new command, said, which I feel is much better when compared to grep, for instance. And I learned this some of the intricacies of this command from one of the mentor that a mentee that I'm mentoring, and it's fun considering the fact that cybersecurity is a continuous learning process. As professionals, these we are perpetual learners when it comes to cybersecurity. So at the end of it all, I believe these CTFs are not only going to offer enjoyment to all of us, but also we're going to learn and upskill. And that's it from me. I welcome any questions. Mine was very brief, and it's quite a bit of late here in Nairobi, Kenya, and I hope everyone else is guys having some bit of life right now. So if there are no questions, you can also link up with me to Jones Baraza on Twitter or at Cyberspace Kenya, in case you have any questions. Thank you very much.
Check, check. Greetings, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are out in the world. First of all, I am Nico Smith. I go by call sign Socks, your Blacks in Cyber Red Team Operations Director. As you can tell, I'm recording from a very secret layer where the internets are being quite unagreeable for some of the agendas that we have going on. So I'd like to kind of point out some of the things that was said in earlier conversations throughout the throughout Secretcon was absolutely a pleasure to hear, especially the idea of trying to set yourself apart from all of your competitors or from potential people who may also be in the job search. And one of the ways that we've been able to realize that in the red team operations sector is through Ctf and through bicconf. Again, this is a great opportunity that's supporting Tribe, which I hope all of you guys are out there playing. As a matter of fact, some of my differ skills had to come into play last night, where a few of our servers had come under an attack from people who just hackers gonna hack, right? What I want to do before I get too far into the weeds is shout out my content developers. You got to hear two of them previously representing Black Girls Hack. And we also had Cyberspace Kenya, who did some really amazing work. Not to mention my support staff or my partners in crime, specifically again Leo Pitt. He's aka Doomfist, always delivering quality content, and also I think security 49. I may be getting it wrong, but I will correct it a little bit later toward the end. So I guess we're coming on board and we're all talking about our different experiences within the cyberspace field and what that looks like, and ultimately I'm going to surround my communication around Tribe Ctf and where it came from, origin, and how we got here. The greatest part about everything, I know there's a saying: if you want to go far quick, go alone. If you want to go far for distance, or if you want to go if you want to continue to go further, have that endurance, go with a team or go with a group. I'm sure I butchered that, but all of that to say is I started out alone building CTF challenges based upon my experiences and doing CTF myself, and I wanted to leverage building infrastructure and implementing CTF challenges as a way for me to learn what people are doing. What does command and control really look like? You hear about it all the time. What does hooking look like? What does pivoting look like? And to be honest, those questions weren't very easy for me as in the way that I learned to really grasp from having someone kind of talk me through it. Like, okay, that's great, but I'm more of a physical learner, a person who, I learn by doing and getting my bumps along the way. So this Tribe Ctf is significant because I had a bunch of individuals who stepped up to the plate when the call for CTF creators was announced, and they stepped up and they said, "Hey, Socks, I'm not a content creator or developer by any means for some, but in other cases they also had CTF challenges going on, like Trayvon, who was, I believe that he puts together a lot of RE type of stuff, and that's where you'll find some of that RE stuff that you're going to encounter throughout Tribe, as well as Cyberspace Kenya stepping up to the plate and delivering very much high quality content. Shout out to Ruth Vick, who was also supporting Trayvon. Lots of blessings and gratitude in that direction. So what is Tribe Ctf and why does it exist? Where did it come from? Well, most of you guys have been following us along our journey up to DEF CON and the success that we had there. Well, right before DEF CON, myself and the CEO, Michaela, which was also a content creator. So if you see some of the CTF challenges named Tribe, those are of her contribution. But having a conversation with Michaela, I said, wouldn't it be cool if we had an opportunity to work with other cyber security professionals or cyber technologists, Black cyber technologists in the space, and then to create a something that stretched worldwide. Given the resources and relationships that live within BIC, we were able to realize that dream very quickly and very promptly. So we wanted to call it Tribe. Again, being Black within all these different spaces, wanting to always call back or harken back to our cultural relationships and also display things in which our ancestry would be proud of what they had to do in order to get us here. And collaborate in the name of collaboration and cultivating talent within our community. We reached out to other people, and a phenomenal cadre of people stepped up, and they said that, hey, we'll give it a try. Let's join this journey. And I'm hoping that this will be the first of many opportunities where we come together as Black technologists, business owners in this space, and create quality content that impacts things globally. So that's the spiel on where Tribe came from. SOX, my part of it is very small. I see the talent, and I see the way I've had some experiences, been able to walk through some doors that were closed, and I just put my foot in the door so that other people may be able to come in and enable the success of others. I'm pretty short. As you guys know, normally I'll talk for hours, but I'm also performing security checks and things like that, and making sure that the CTF runs stably and securely. So I really appreciate you all. Thank you very much. I'm seeing things happen inside the chat. If you have questions, comments, concerns, you can always reach us via Black Cybersecurity's email address, or finding us on Twitter, of course. Amplifying that voice is something that does nothing but benefit us all. And while it was content created by Black cyber security technologists, it is open and available for any and every walk of life. So with that said, again, thank you, a million thanks to the content creators that worked to deliver this amazing challenge set, and I'm looking forward to a more awesome and amazing new year. With that said, thank you.